And we're live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you all so very much for hanging out with us. Anyone coming in at this time, take time out of your day. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You guys know the drill. What's going on, Jake?
What's up? Not
You
too
ready?
happy after the
Ready
Dodgers
for
just
an
lost.
exciting day?
But
Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is game day.
heck, yes. I'm ready to get this win against the Warriors. That's what I'm ready for.
Facts. Anthony Davis did say that they really want to play spoiler for the ring ceremony. So I hope he takes that serious. I hope all the Lakers take that serious, and we end up getting that W. I actually think we're gonna beat the Warriors tomorrow. I really do. I could be wrong,
Absolutely. Their team chemistry is finito.
but it's gonna be wonderful.
Done.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
But today I wanted to talk about just obviously we're getting into the season, so it'd be nice to kind of just give our thoughts, our opinions. We'll go into like win, loss, starting fives, all that stuff. Kind of get ready for tomorrow because we won't be doing a live stream till Wednesday. But we will have the results. So we can talk about that Laker game and stuff and see how it goes. But this game is kind of going to predictions. So first thing I think we should start is starting fives. What is your give me a couple different starting fives. Like give me one where you think like that's what the starting five is going to be, and then for the Warriors game, and then give me like a couple like different alternatives, or at least other guys that you could see starting.
Okay. So for the Warriors, I think we'd start AD at the 5, LeBron at the 4, Walker at the 3, Bev at the 1, and Nunn at the 2.
Okay.
As odd as that sounds, I have a strange feeling that's where he's gonna go.
Okay. What other guys do you think could potentially be in the starting five? Is there any others that come to mind, or are you pretty set on that?
Well, no, I'm pretty set on that, but I'm almost positive Reeves could be in there. You might put Austin Reeves into the lineup. Let's hope. I would like to see that. Austin Reeves is my guy. No, I would say maybe Reeves. And maybe Jones. Jones might, but no, you can't really start Jones. No, it'll be weird. You'd almost have to have LeBron play the 3, start Jones at the 4, maybe put AD at the 5. But
yeah, I personally, I think if you're gonna go, I think AD starts at the 5 against the Warriors. So like my guess would be, I think it comes down to does Westbrook start or come off the bench. I think right now, I think it currently could be a coin flip. I think it could go either way. But my guess would be that he does start. So
you think
my
so?
starters, yeah, I think so. I think at least this game. So my starters for this game, I think would be Russell Westbrook. I'd say Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, Walker, LeBron, and Davis is what I think the starting 5 will be. Because I think that'll match up well. You'll have that Walker Wiggins matchup. You'll have Austin Reeves kind of chasing around Klay Thompson. Russ is going to have to chase around Steph, which is going to be tough, but I think he could do it. And then LeBron at the 4, matched up against Draymond, and then whoever's guarded Davis, good luck. Probably Pascal. So I think whoever ends up, I think that would probably be best. If Westbrook doesn't start and he comes off the bench, then I think that they go probably Kendrick Nunn. I think it'll probably
because of his hamstring, he may come off the bench though. I'm not entirely sure.
For Russ, yeah, maybe. I mean, that's going to be an interesting thing to see, like how everyone's going to be working out. But I think, without Russ, I think it's probably going to be Kendrick Nunn. I think it'll be Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, Walker, LeBron, and Davis. Okay. I think that gives you shooting. I think that gives you flexibility. I think that gives you some solid defense. I think that gives you a little bit of everything. You get some size, some length, a couple guys that can get to the basket, create their own shots. So I think that would be probably the most versatile for them. And then Russ off the bench, with everybody else. Or I wouldn't be shocked if they started Patrick Beverley, just to like kind of give them that like a-hole. So maybe instead of, I think it's going to come down to either Kendrick Nunn or Patrick Beverley if Russ doesn't start. I think you could make an argument for it either way, but I think if you want to go defensively, I think you go I think you go Beverly. I think you go Beverly, Reeves, Walker, LeBron, and Davis. I think would be the starting five if you want to go defensively. If you want a little more shooting and offense, then I think you go none. Um, so I think that's probably the route they go.
Yeah.
But
Who do you think could run the offense better? That offense, Nunn or Beverly?
um, I think if you have that offense, I think chances are LeBron's probably running that offense. I think Beverly's just kind of bringing the ball up, and LeBron's operated as like the point forward.
Yeah.
Where Kendrick Nunn, I think even Kendrick Nunn, the same thing. I think that very likely that's probably what it is. I think you just have kind of everybody kind of, whoever has the ball brings it up, and then it just kind of sets up whatever the offense that you're running. But I think ultimately you're running it through LeBron, and then Russ comes in and handles the bench unit and runs that. But I do think the lineups could change based on, like, I could see that lineup being the same lineup against the Warriors and the Clippers, and then maybe changing it up, before they play like the Blazers and the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, because then like that's now you're going against three centers that have some big size. So I think that in that matchup. So I think the first two games, I think Davis starts at the 5 because I think you can get away with it, and you're not going to put too much wear and tear on him. So I think that's probably the route they go. But we've talked about wins and losses before, but obviously we got tomorrow. I still think they win between 50 to 55 games. I haven't really gotten off my thoughts of that. Are you still in the 60 range? I know that you thought they were going to win 60. Do you still do that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we still have a good possibility. When you take in everything in consideration, the team's tanking, our roster, the hungry guys, the team chemistry. So I think when you're taking everything into consideration, I think we can pull out 60. Now it's gonna take game in and game out. I'm not really gonna have to that's without taking any games off. Speaking of, how much stake do you hold on this game, this first game against the Warriors, since they are the defending champions? How much stock do you put in it? If we beat them, how much do you I'm sure it's gonna be a confidence booster for the team, but how much does you really think it matters in the long run? And do you think it'll be a foreshadowing for the later end of the season where we could meet this team in the Western Conference Finals, which I feel like at this rate more than likely will happen, because the only people that are really going to be standing in our way, potentially the Mavs, not likely, Suns, not likely, and maybe Clippers, but I'm still looking at Lakers, Warriors, Western Conference Finals.
I think it's important, but it's not like the deciding be all end all. I think even if the Lakers lose, I think it depends on how they lose. Now, I do think if they win, I think that's going to be super valuable. And I think AD and LeBron know that. I think they know we need to go get this win in Golden State, because right now all the narrative and all the conversation is that the Lakers suck and they won't work, and that the Russell Westbrook whole situation, this, that, and the other. And I think if they go and they beat the Warriors, one, I think that's a confident boost for the team as a whole, because you just beat the defending champions at home on rain night. So I think that's a big boost. Also, I think at least momentarily, I think some of the narrative and discussion will change. I think a lot of it will be like, oh, look, here we go. All of a sudden, the Lakers are good. And I think a lot of people will blow it out of proportion. Don't get me wrong, I'll be excited. I'll definitely talk about it, if they win. Unless they just completely dominate the Warriors and it's just a good old fashioned smackdown, which I don't think will happen, then I don't want to put too much stock into it either way, whether they win or lose. Obviously, if they win, it'll be a good confidence boost. But I don't even if they lose, I don't mind if they lose. I care about how did they lose. If they lost, did they lose by 30 and just got ran out the gym? Or was it a hard fought game, back and forth the entire game? The Lakers were always in it, maybe had some leads, maybe lost some leads, maybe came back, regained a lead, and it was a good, we were hanging with the Warriors
Yeah.
For the entire game. We just, they just hit key shots down the stretch, or Steph hit a game winner or something. Like if it's something like that, then I think that's a very positive game that you can hang your hat on and be excited for the rest of the season. But if they go in there and they lose by 40 and it looks like it's just like, yeah, these guys don't belong here, then I think that could be a real problem for not only just the team, but like the fandom. I think you'll have a lot of people that just like freak out and overreact. And I just think that you want to try to shift the narrative as quickly as possible. I really do. I think you want to immediately just kind of change the perspective and change the narrative. And the best way to do that is to get a win opening night, especially if you beat the Clippers too. Like if the Lakers start 3-0, like say they beat the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Blazers.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see an entirely different narrative than what's going around right now. I think the whole world is going to be like, oh, like the Lakers are good. Look, they beat the two best teams in the West, all that stuff. And I think you're just going to have a different conversation where right now everyone's like, Lakers suck, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, we haven't even played a game yet, so let's see. But I do. And I think, and I'm pretty confident LeBron knows that. LeBron knows what the conversation is. LeBron knows what's going on out there. I think that he's looking at it as like, we need to win game one. We need to beat the Warriors and we need to beat the Clippers. But I will say, I think the Clippers game is more important than the Warriors game because.
Ooh, tell me why? Because that's interesting.
So even if we lose to the Warriors, I think the conversation won't be as bad. Again, depending on how they lose. It's a hard fought game and they lose. I don't think people will blow that up as much as they would otherwise. Just because one, it's the defending champs, rain night, all that. So like
it's an away game too. That's
you have like I guess like an inherent excuse, even though I'm not really big on excuses when it comes to that, but I get it. Like I think the general people will look at it as like, hey, it's not a big deal, especially if the Lakers are competitive in that game. If they just, like I said, if they get ran out the gym, then it's a bad look. But if they're competitive and they lose, I don't think it'll be a big deal. But if we go into the Clippers and we get smacked by the Clippers in Staples Center, that is going to be a huge conversation because the Clippers have the last, several seasons have absolutely owned us and have just absolutely I mean, I don't think we've won a game against the Clippers in like 2 years or something like that. Like we just haven't been able to beat them. They're just a team that has our number, at least in the regular season, right? And so I think that if that happens, that will be so much more amplified than the Warriors. Like I think if the Lakers lose to the Clippers, especially if they get smacked by the Clippers, I think the conversation becomes so much more like, oh, look, the Lakers, they still suck. The Clippers have their number. It's like little brother beating big brother always ends up being a point of conversation. Well, you add that to like the Lakers situation right now. I just think it'd be a huge, just kind of blow up point. And so I really think like if the Lakers beat the Warriors and lose to the Clippers, you're still going to have that narrative and conversation. But if the Lakers beat the Warriors, or if the Lakers lose to the Warriors but beat the Clippers, then you're going to see a lot of people be like, oh, like they're like the Lakers are really good. The Lakers, they lost to the defending champs, but they beat arguably the best team in the Western Conference and maybe the league in the Clippers. Oh, look, big brother is still big brother. Like it just becomes a completely different conversation than otherwise. Now, if the Lakers win both of those games, I'm not saying they will, but if they do, I think we see an over exaggeration the other way. Right now, I feel like in many ways it's an over exaggeration in a negative light. I think it'll be the opposite. I think a lot of people like that are like hating on the Lakers or just, think the Lakers are going to be terrible. I think a lot of those people, if we start 2-0 and then we go and beat the Blazers and we're 3-0, I think a lot of those people are all of a sudden like, okay, maybe the Lakers are pretty good. Like, and I do think they will be, but also you got to take things in perspective. Like the first couple games, like guys are still trying to figure stuff out, like especially the Lakers, like, if they win those games, that's even more of a promising thing because they haven't been together. Like the Clippers have been together. The Warriors obviously have been together years, right? And so that's what makes them so great. So if the Lakers can go in to both of those games, win those games and walk away with a win, or even just lose in a tough loss, that's very promising because the Lakers are only going to get better. So if we look like a team that deserves to be in the conversation against the Warriors and the Clippers, like of beating them, and even if we lose, just because the Lakers are going to only get better, I think that that's a positive. That is a huge positive. Granted, we'll
so
see.
you don't see any scenario where a team falls apart like midseason.
I think it just depends on how bad things get. Like if the Lakers start like, say they start like 2-8 in our first 10 games, I think you start seeing like a lot of panic. I think you see like the fan base kind of lose their minds. I think Rob Pelinka will be a lot more pressured to get a deal done and do a trade. I think it also depends on how we're losing and what the team looks like as a whole. Like if like a majority of our guys look good and we're just having a hard time closing out games and it's stuff that can be fixed, then I still think people freak out. But I think the Lakers won't. But if it's something where we just look like an absolute mess and the Lakers look like an absolute dumpster fire, then I don't think that that'll be good for the Lakers. And I think then they sort of make a fire sale, do something drastic. I think it's really going to depend on how like the first like 10 or so games go. And our opening stretch is tough because we play the Warriors, the Clippers, the Blazers, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. Our first 5 games,
all contenders.
Well, Portland not so. Portland should be a W, but outside of that, all of them arguably are. Like all of them are like Denver. Many people believe Denver is the third, if not second best team in the West. So there's that. And then the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have a lot of promise, are young, have a lot of potential, all of those things. So I definitely think this is going to be a really tough stretch. That if we can walk away, if we could go like 3-2 or 4-1, I think that is huge.
Yeah.
Like if we beat the Blazers, and then we beat like say we beat like the Warriors and the Timberwolves, right? And we lose to the Nuggets and the Clippers. Like, yes, we lost to arguably the 2 best teams in the West, but we beat 3 of like legit teams. And like, that's a good start for a team. Again, that's only going to get better. That's only going to improve.
If we get over like 50%, that would be good for sure.
Exactly. But real quick, I'm going to jump in the chat. You want to go run and grab what you wanted to grab real quick? I'll jump in the chat real quick. Brilliant, I must say, speaking of myself, of course, all you two managed to do is get dressed up, combine a little daring do on my part, bring some muscle from Squirrel and some lady from Moose. Happy I need roll credits. I love it. Some supernatural references. I love it. If Westbrook starts, he doesn't want to come off the bench. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. It's good. It comes down to Darvin Ham. Russell Westbrook said he'll do whatever Darvin Ham wants. So if Darvin Ham wants him to come off the bench, I think he will. I think it's on Darvin Ham. Matchup wise, AD, LeBron, JTA, Walker, Beverly. I wouldn't mind that. I don't think that's bad either. What's going on, SM? Appreciate you. Salute.
What's up, SM?
JTA matches up with Wiggins. Reeves comes off the bench, matches up with Poole. I mean, I wouldn't mind Reeves coming off the bench. I just think he plays so well with the starters, and he seems to be like Darvin Ham's guy in a way. Like,
rumors are too. LeBron loves to play with him. Like that's like one of his favorites to play with.
Yeah, Clay Looney. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that's solid too. What's going on, Austin? Appreciate you. Pat Bev, Nunn, Lonnie, Braun, AD. Yeah, I could see that's not bad. I could see something like that. What do y'all think is a realistic Russ trade? Currently, the problem is there's not much options at the moment.
No.
Obviously, once the season starts progressing, options will open up. But right now, like the 2 like rumored deals are the Hornets deal and the Pacers deal. I know a lot of people really like the Pacers deal, but I think the Hornets deal solves our problem more because you get 2 wing players on top of like you could either get a power forward and a guard or a guard, or maybe you could even work it out to get all 4. I think that would be a better deal. Like if you could get like if you could end up with like Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, and Scary Terry Rozier. To me, that's better than Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Like I
By
don't think
leaps and bounds, if you
yeah
ask me. But yeah,
you get two wing defenders.
scary Terry.
Yeah, and
The
you
truth.
get a guy, you get another guy that's basically another Kendrick Nunn. So you could always have one of those guys on the court. That guy that could just go get you 20 plus a game easy.
He's focused,
Yeah,
balanced all the way around. It
yeah,
works.
could play on the ball, off the ball, all that stuff. You get if you can land PJ Washington, then you get a guy that can be your power forward of the future, or a trade chip, or just a solid rotation piece. Especially if you play AD at the 5, you could have
Yeah.
Washington play the 4, and you got a guy that can give you 20 a night as a power forward. Like that's again very solid. And I know very likely, I think the Hornets are going to want to unload Gordon Hayward. And I think Gordon Hayward would be a perfect fit for the Lakers. My problem is the guy can't stay healthy. And as great as he could be for the Lakers, because he really could, a guy that could shoot, he's a solid defender. He could be your point forward if you want. You can run your offense through him. Does a little bit of everything. He's like really good at everything. I think that he's a guy that could be great, but it's just one, his contract is terrible. And two, he can't stay healthy. If he could stay healthy, then I think that makes the Lakers so much better.
I liked him when he was in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Yeah, before the injuries, man, just an unfortunate shake, is what it was. What I wanted it to be: Dennis, Bev, LeBron, AD, Damian Jones / Miles Turner. What it will be is Russ, Bev, Reeves, Braun, AD. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I really think Darvin Ham's going to start Walker. I really do. I think Walker seems to be his guy. And every opportunity Darvin Ham has had this offseason, he's talked about how great Walker looks. I think he really likes Walker. So I think Walker gets the start. Plus, he's got the most length for his size. Like with the 6'10" wingspan. I think that he's our best bet for being like our wing defender, quote unquote. So, just kind of my thoughts.
Everybody's overlooking Nunn. I noticed like you're one of the only people that don't overlook like Nunn.
I love Kendrick Nunn. I wouldn't be shocked if they end up having him come off the bench, because we talked about this in the last stream, is that at least with Kendrick Nunn, you're going to get the same production regardless. Like whether he comes off the bench or he starts, he's a guy that could give you 20 a night. And if he's
with minimal mistakes, though, we've seen that.
Yeah. But I mean, it comes down to the minutes, which I think he could do. I just think I think Kendrick Nunn starts if you want more shooting and scoring. But I guess you can make the argument better to have him come off the bench, because then you have that scoring off the bench.
Yeah.
So I could see it theoretically going either way. Use that money in free agency. SM, you're not wrong. Let's say salary somehow matches. Would you do 2 firsts for Alex Caruso and Miles Turner? I would. Not 2 firsts. No. I really like Alex Caruso, but that doesn't solve our problem. You're basically just getting another guard. Nuggets, Warriors, Western Conference Finals. That's a real possibility. Not even biased against the Lakers for that choice yet. Jake, I like you, bro, but how is Dirk a top 5 passer?
Let me defend this one. So like I wasn't saying as like rank like obviously like average like the most assists. I like the style. Like I just like his style. I'm a big fan of like fundamentals, and like Dirk is just one of those guys. So yeah, that's all that was. I could see why you would be like, wait, what? But no.
Yeah. I don't buy that Russ is faking an injury. I do. People forget he's playing for Newcastle. Exactly. There's no way Russell Westbrook is faking an injury. He has nothing to gain from it. He has everything to lose.
Yeah.
Everything to lose. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, that's a real conversation that's going around, and it makes no sense. If you really want switchability lineups, Reeves, Walker, JTA, LeBron, and AD. Yeah, I don't mind. I like that lineup. That's pretty good.
JTA,
As
that's we didn't put him in the starting lineup. That's true.
yeah, as it stands, do you think Max Christie will be in the rotation? I think it's possible. I mean, defensively, he looked great. I mean, he might be our best like on-ball defender. Like as crazy as that sounds, he is really good and sound defensively.
Yeah.
The concern is just he's a liability offensively. So I don't like if he does, I don't think he gets a ton of minutes. Like I could see them like say it's the end of the first quarter, you need to you want to get a stop to go into the second, or like it's the end of the, or it's about like a minute left in the second quarter, you want to get a couple stops, kind of ride momentum into the second half. Like then I could see him kind of being there. I think if he's in the rotation, I think he gets kind of like random minutes here and there as like a defensive stopper.
He won't start for sure. He won't start, but
no, they're not going to start. He'll be a defensive. Like he'll end up being like a defensive specialist for the Lakers. I'm a Laker hater, but it's all just harmless fun. If I'm being serious, though, I think the Lakers will be around the 6-7 seed. I think they'll be in a 4 to 6 range. Like I do. I think that they'll be. I think they're going to be good. I think they're at least. I don't. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to be, bona fide contender or not. But I wouldn't be shocked at all. Like at all. You get a healthy Lakers team into the playoffs. I think the Lakers can be very scary, make a lot of noise. Obviously, it's going to come down to like how do they look, is the team clicking, is they thriving, that kind of thing. But like, I mean, for example, look like the 5 seed or the 4 seed last year. Oh no, okay, here let's even go higher. The 3 seed last year in the Western Conference only had 53 wins. The 6 seed had 48 wins. So I mean, the Lakers had 33 wins. So basically, if you're going off of the numbers from last year, the Lakers would only have to win. They only have to be 15 games better than they were last year. That's it. Only 15 games better to make it as the 6th seed, to not have to be in the play-in. I think this team is at least 15 games better. I think the Lakers, with Anthony Davis and LeBron James healthy last year, would have been 15 games better.
Yeah.
If they didn't miss so many games. So I think this year they're going to be that. They're going to be good. This Chargers-Broncos game is pretty good. 13-13. Yeah, I have it playing on the TV over here.
I'm a Chargers fan.
Who will have the bigger impact, Thomas Bryant or Damian Jones? Personally, I think it'll be Thomas Bryant, but I think they're both going to do 2 different things. I think Damian Jones is going to be your big hustle, like rebounder, shot blocker off the bench. I think Thomas Bryant's going to give you more flexibility and versatility. And they both seem to really be hustling. Thoughts on Wiggins' pool extension? I'm happy for Andrew Wiggins. I think that it makes all the sense in the world. I would have been surprised if they didn't. I think they made their decision though on Draymond Green. I don't think they're going to pay $513 million in just luxury tax next season. Like I just don't. If they give Draymond Green a new max, that's how much they would be paying. $513 million in just
if luxury. They win the championship, that will happen though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even if they win again this year, I think at that point you can cope without Draymond, because Draymond wasn't that huge of a factor for them last year in winning the championship. He's not the same guy he used to.
Not on paper or not on stats, but I still think he's a big contributor. Just not the thing is about Draymond is you don't see what like okay, so people won't see his like the contribution he makes, but that's why like it's hard. You know what I mean? The only people who are going to really see like the actual like aspects of them winning the championship, what do they have to do with like Draymond Green, is like Steve Kerr, his teammates. That's like, and that's the hard part about Draymond. Like you can't, like the proof of concept is just like the locker room. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like,
Well, I mean, he has the immeasurable, intangible things that like you don't get to see. But I think he's phased. I think the Warriors have phased him out. I think that they've moved. Like Andrew Wiggins really helps with their flexibility. They're already grooming Kuminga to fill in that Draymond role. and Kuminga, if he can fill out that role, would be a younger, more athletic, more versatile. He'd be a better Draymond, essentially. Like even in
Yeah.
Draymond's heyday, he'd be a better Draymond. Now, will he have the same impact in like the locker room and just the culture and stuff? Who knows? But you have like that team is so sound. I don't think that that'll be an issue. I really think, like SM says, Draymond leaving. I really think Draymond leaving. I think this very likely could be his last year with the Warriors. I really
So
do.
last year Kuminga averaged 16. So he played 60 minutes per game, 33% from 3-point, not about 9 points a game. So I mean, like that was almost what Draymond did last year.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. As it stands, I've been watching your videos in different channels. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And yes, Basky, I see you in all of them. But until this time, I haven't heard what your first name is, or did I? Well, I've said it a bunch of times. He's called me it a bunch of times. But my name is Tyler. That's my name, Tyler. So, yeah, there you go. But dog, y'all see Gordon Hayward's fresh guy. He was getting clown hard for that. Everyone enjoys a good night. I like the Nuggets more for the finals next year. I don't know how Jamal MPJ will play. I love Jamal Murray, so hopefully we get Bubble Murray. Bubble Murray was insane. I'm curious. Like Jamal Murray's already having like setbacks or something. I was like reading something about that. And MPJ, like Michael Porter Jr., I don't know how he's gonna play, like how he's gonna come back. He's had so many surgeries. He's had so many injuries.
Yeah.
Like but like when he's healthy, he looks like he could be the next big thing. I don't know. I'm not sold on.
He does. He's scary when he's healthy for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's one of those things though. It's like kind of like how I feel about the Clippers. Like I can't believe in you until you prove me wrong. Like every year the Nuggets are like arguably the best team in the West, and every year they underperform because they burn out. They're too Joker reliant, and they burn them out. And teams know how to kind of stop the Nuggets in their tracks, and that's you just wear him down over a 7-game series, and then eventually he's not as effective as he once was. Now, obviously, a healthy Jamal Murray and MPJ will really help that because, like last year, they didn't really have Jamal or MPJ, so it was kind of just it was him doing everything by himself. So I definitely think he's going to have help, but I don't know. Like I don't know. I need to see some games before I like crown them the next big thing.
Put like a freaking Dame on their team.
Scary. Max Christie probably won't start the season in the rotation, but a month or so he might make it. I think he could earn a rotation spot just on his defense alone. He's definitely got to work on his shooting, but that'll come. It amazes me if the Warriors are so good right now and still have a great future. They really do. I mean, they have such a great young core too. Like they're stacked. They really are. They're stacked. And the scary thing is because of how good Clay and Steph are, because of how good Clay and Steph are, on top of like just how good of shooters they are, they could probably play till they're like 50. Just because like at some point, because Steph and Clay, their shooting is never going to go anywhere.
No,
like they're always going to be great shooters. So
even Steph's dad can still shoot.
Yeah, exactly. And at some point, you could just transition them into like the Ray Allen role, where
corner shooters.
They're just the bench. They're just the guys off the bench that are just knocking down threes. Like assuming.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just assuming that they would want to do that.
Yeah, but how much of the credit did you give to actuals like Steve Kerr though? Like how much credit do you give to that?
For like the Warriors' success?
Yeah, because I feel like Steve Kerr might go down as one of the great. He might actually surpass Phil Jackson in terms of like we can't really measure great coaching other than like championships and playoffs and things like that and statistical records. But I have a feeling he may go down as like one of the greatest coaches ever.
See, I don't know. Like he's already like ESPN and like a bunch of other stuff like did a poll or whatever, and Steve Kerr was voted like number 3 or something like that, number 3, 4, all time already. My problem is I just don't know I don't think he's a bad coach. I mean, I definitely
What
think
was he
he's a
behind, like Pop and
I think
Phil?
he's a great. Yeah, he was. It was like what was it? It was like Phil Jackson. I think Greg Popovich, Red Auerbach, and then I think it was Steve Kerr off the top of my head. But my problem is that like I just is he a great coach because of the talent that the Warriors are, or is he a great coach because he's a great coach? Because and the reason and the thing to back up my argument is look at Luke Walton. Luke Walton went like 42-1 with the Warriors. Everybody thought he was the next big thing, and the dude has been a terrible head coach because the Warriors were so good.
Yeah,
The Warriors are
he
so
was
good and
horrible for the
such a
Lakers.
well-oiled machine that they don't
Yeah.
need they really don't need a coach. You know what I mean? Like you need a
Oh,
coach to
now you
make
sound like
adjustments.
Kyrie.
No, I mean, but what I mean is like you need a coach to like call the timeouts and kind of sub guys in and out and orchestrate. But at this point, they're just such a well-oiled machine. Like you and me could coach them, and they probably still win as many games. Like now,
You think so?
absolutely. But now I think that part of it is the structure that Steve Kerr has put in place. He's gotten them to be such a well-oiled machine that it's really like that's why like you and me could coach them and they'd be good because they already know what to do. But like one thing that
So
gets
you're saying
lost in
from a
translation.
philosophy standpoint, it's more of a that's what Steve Kerr is. He's more of a philosopher.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of like he's got these guys bought in. He's got these guys believing. He knows everybody knows their role. He's really gotten everybody to kind of be together. But like the other thing is too that doesn't get discussed enough is like not Phil Jackson, Mark Jackson. Like Mark Jackson was the one that institutionalized this team, like put this team together and stuff like that. And like people just forget. Now look, Mark Jackson basically developed and kind of put these guys together.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
What Steve Kerr did is he came in and he implemented an offensive identity, and that was what was the real game changer. Because Mark Jackson was great as like a player coach for them, but one, he kind of started to lose the locker room because he was just kind of like forcing his religion and stuff on people, which I think was a big issue. Allegedly, I don't know for certain, but these were the reports back then, right? That like people like he was forcing guys to go to church every Sunday, and having team meetings to the church and stuff like that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you don't believe in Christianity or something like that, and you're being forced to go, or you look like the a-hole because you're not joining your team, then I can understand where that could kind of be an issue, right? But what he did do is he had these guys kind of in a structure, and Steve Kerr came in as that sort of player coach that was able to come in, kind of get everyone to believe again and implement that free-flowing offense, which they didn't really have before. So that free-flowing offense really helped this team. But again, I don't think like I'm not saying Steve Kerr isn't a good coach. I think he is. I think he is one of the best coaches there is. I just don't know how high I rank him because of just like we saw Greg Popovich, do well with bad players, like guys that were reclamation projects and just completely changed their careers, right? Have several different teams, like
but you're talking about like Ginobili, Parker.
I'm saying even before them, they were winning championships, and then they went and got Ginobili and Parker stuff, and then continue to win championships, and then and then they leave, and then they still like. It's just so like we've seen that Phil Jackson everywhere he's gone, he's changed the culture, he's changed everything. All these guys, like my problem is that Steve Kerr basically inherited a Rolex. And it's like, yeah, like this is a great Rolex, but like, what happens when the diamonds start falling out? Like, is he going to be able to keep that ship in the right direction? Because when Steph and Clay and Draymond are done, and he still has a very good young core that could be around for a long time, will he be able to continue? And I'm not saying he has to, win a dozen championships or whatever. I'm just saying, like, will he still be able to have these guys be as competitive and good as they were? But to be fair, if I'm going to say that, most great coaches had the greatest players, but
Yeah. We're talking
like,
about Pop with Tim Duncan,
yeah,
Phil
and
with Michael and Kobe
and
Shaq.
Kobe and Shaq and things like that, and
Um,
Scotty and all that stuff. But in the same breath, we saw this team have success with other coaches. Where
yeah.
like the Lakers, when Phil Jackson left, Lakers were awful. But when Phil Jackson came back, all of a sudden they're winning championships again, right? So it's
Yeah.
like would that be the same thing with Kerr? I don't know.
Yeah, and I would say too, like Kerr was like core. Like if you watch him coach and like watch him like during like tough games and tough series, like during like the finals, like he's really big on like not necessarily changing the game plan, but just like riding out the wave. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of teams, what they do is when they get into trouble, you have a team that comes out hot against you, like the Cavaliers, just start shooting your lights out. They change the game plan. Okay, like let's go to plan B. But Kerr is very calm in that, and so we're like he'll just stick with the same exact like game plan, write it out, correct the mistakes. And I think it takes a lot of like I think courage and confidence in your players to like not switch anything up. So like yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I definitely put him up there. I don't know that I wouldn't say he's the greatest coach, but he has a potential if he keeps coaching at this level to I think so. I don't know if he's gonna pass like Phil or anything, but
Yeah, I don't think so. Russ pretends only that he has an injury. If Russ doesn't want Beverly, he can't do nothing about it. He didn't pretend that he had an injury. God. Some
they're
people
friends, guys. They're friends.
put your tinfoil hat on. Like, no, Russ didn't fake an injury. I'm preparing myself for 5-10 win-loss start for the Lakers based on schedule and roster build-up. Lakers really need size on the wings and rebounding and need to shoot Russ in it. Hey, look, I completely understand preparing for the worst, hope for the best. I don't know. We're going to find out really quickly. We're going to find out very soon, very quickly, how this is going to shape up. I'd rather start the year with a tough schedule because towards the end of the season, you'd get easier wins. So start off with a few losses. It's a big deal. Like that was the problem last year is we had such an easy schedule in the first half of the season that like by the time we got to the back half of the season, we were screwed because we didn't win any of those games that we should have won. Where this year, if you actually look at the Lakers like schedule, it's actually pretty even. Like there's one like in like what is it like I think like the middle of November or something. And then April. There's like two stretches that are just like brutal. Like one of them is something like the Clippers, the Bucks, the Warriors, and I think like the Sixers or something like that. It's like this crazy stretch if you look at their schedule. And then there's another one in April. But outside of that, it's pretty like two good teams, three bad teams.
Yeah.
Three good teams, one bad team. Like so, it's like it's pretty even, which is good because now like it kind of forces you. You have to be better. You have to kind of hurry it up rather than going into games and being like, well, these teams suck, so like we'll figure it out. Like that's kind of what it was last year.
And the tough part about it is at the end of the season, most guys are tired,
Yeah.
And plus, if you're gonna make the playoffs, win or lose a certain amount of games, it's like the effort just not necessarily is there. Because at that point, you're just fighting for a home court advantage.
Well, also, I think towards the end of the season, you're going to get a lot of free wins because teams are going to be still tanking for Victor, and then you're going to have that arms race where you're going to have like 10 teams that are only like a game apart from being like dead last, and so not just the Lakers, but a lot of teams are going to have some real opportunity. You know what I mean? Sorry, I didn't read that. Timberwolves should have got a rain for helping the Warriors. Yeah, right. Phil Jackson is the GOAT coach. Yeah, absolutely. Luke Walton went 39-4 with the Warriors as your coach. That's my point. Yeah, like it's great. That's the whole thing. This isn't basketball related, but real quick, what do you think about Cooper Rush, Dak situation? I hate people saying Cooper Rush is better than Dak because the only reason he started 4-0 was because of the defense. First off, Cooper Rush is not better than Dak. I know
absolutely not.
I saw the
Shut
conversation.
It down.
I saw the conversation stuff, but the thing that people we see it a lot with like backup quarterbacks. Like if you're half serviceable and half decent, and you come in, usually you get some wins because one, there's no film on you, so every team knows Dak's habits. Every team knows that what way does he like to roll out and throw the ball? What shoulder is he looking for? Who's his go-to guy? Who's this? Who's that? Right? Like, where does he look when he's going to throw the ball over here? Does he look that direction? Does he look fake over here? Go over. Like, all the teams know his ins and outs because they have so much tape on him. But when you get a guy that's coming in that doesn't have that, you don't know, like, who is he going to throw the ball to? Who does he have most chemistry with? What is his little, tells? Like, does he like to pump fake every time before he throws the ball on? Or is it that just like his thing? Like, there's just, so you always are going to get good size where Dallas isn't bad enough. Like, Dallas is good enough to get those wins. Their defense was great. I agree with you. Their defense was spot on great. But a lot of it had to do with Cooper Rush was just, he was a guy that teams didn't plan for because they weren't expecting to plan for him. And there wasn't a ton of tape and stuff on him. So ultimately, I think that's what it was. Russ is not the owner of the Lakers, so whether he likes it or not, or whether he likes or don't like Beverly, can't do nothing about it. He should always remember that Lakers paid him for this. Like, him and Beverly are fine. Like, him and Beverly today was talking to Beverly was talking today about how him and Russ are best friends. Like, somebody asked him about the whole tape and like him not going to the Bev huddle, and he was like, that's hilarious. Like, people don't know what they're talking about. He's like, he's talked about how Russ is his best friend, and Russell Westbrook has talked about how they're best friends. Dude, to further that point, like, even Patrick Beverly told the story of Russ before they were even teammates about him, like, buying the tickets courtside for his wife and stuff like that. Like, these guys have had a good relationship for a long time. It's just the media hyped it up as like this, talking shit thing, because that's just Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly, like, if you're not his teammate, he's trying to kill you, and Russ is a competitive guy. Who do you guys want to win the Wembanyama race? I want the Spurs or the Kings. I really want the Spurs because I think that is like Greg Popovich's like wet dream. I think like he like I think he has dreams like every night about Victor because he loves those European players. He loves those French players. And I think he would get the most out of Wembanyama. I think he'd get the most out of Wembanyama. And I think Wembanyama would get the most out of Greg Popovich. And I think it would also extend Greg Popovich's career because how much longer is he going to want to tank and stuff? But if he gets a guy like Victor, I think that would add a new spark to him as a coach to be like, all right, like I want to build it. I want to build a championship team against him in the next like 3 to 5 years. Like I could see
and Pop's gonna come out of it.
I really would love that. I really would love that. Dude, if the Kings get Victor Wembanyama, which I don't think they will, because I think they're gonna be good. I don't think they're gonna be like great, but I think they're gonna be good. So I think they're too good to tank. But I don't know. I did a video on As It Stands, like the mother channel that started everything. As It Stands, I did a video today, top 8 teams that I think are in a race for Victor Wembanyama. So yeah, go check out that video, everyone, after this live stream. But beyond that, I think there really is like a solid arms race. I think another team that could be really scary, like OKC. Like, what if OKC gets him? Like, you have Victor and Chet for the next like several years, like that. Like, I mean, you could be talking about the next dynasty, like for real. There's a couple teams that are very good at like Houston. Like, if Houston gets him, that like all these young teams have a lot of really good young talent. So if any of those young teams get him, like, I mean, you could be talking about like legit like the next Warriors in 3 to 5 years, like with him, because he's that good, that transcending. My opinion, the Cowboys should play Dak the same way that they play Cooper Rush, throw some check downs, and don't try anything crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. I would also want the Blazers to win the Victor race, but they won't be bad enough. I don't think they'll be bad enough either. But
I don't think they'll be bad. But the Blazers getting him, that would be fun to see. My
problem with the Blazers getting him.
To get a ring.
My problem with the Blazers getting him though is that like the Blazers are just a terror. And that's the same reason like the Kings. Like if the Kings got Victor, like I wouldn't be very happy just because they've historically been a terribly ran organization. Like same thing with the Knicks. Like if the Knicks got Victor Wembanyama, I think that they probably never win a championship. Like which is sad because you're just gonna spoil and Victor's gonna end up leaving and going elsewhere. But like a team like the Spurs, like
you like Spurs because of Pop.
Yeah, Greg Popovich, and you know that organization will do whatever it takes.
What about Miami?
Miami's never going to be. They're
I know, but would you want to see them on Miami?
Like if there was Miami would be like if there was ever a possibility for that. Yeah, Pat Riley and that organization, they would do it. They would, I do too. I think they would do whatever it took. But like, like I just as far as like
or Dallas, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I would like Dallas. So like Mark Cuban, that's another one. That would be really good. But like as far as teams that like actually could get him, like even like OKC, I mean they've already blown what could have been one dynasty.
Yes.
And the only reason I kind of want to see him go there is because I don't like is Sam Presti really gonna mess that up twice? You know what I mean? He already messed up the James Harden thing. And like if he ends up getting Victor, is he going to really mess that up twice? Like, is that organization going to do that twice? I hope not. But like, I want him to go to a place that historically is willing to go all in. Like Detroit, Detroit is an organization that would do that. You know, like Detroit's won championships in the past. They're willing to do what they need to if they need to. They actually have a good GM now. So like, you got a guy that'll actually make quality moves. They have a good young team and a good young core. Houston, I think, is in a good position now. Like there's a couple teams that will go all in.
Anywhere except for like Milwaukee. Like please,
dude. Like imagine
as great as that would be for them, but oh my goodness, could you imagine? Oh,
like you have like the Spurs Tim Duncan situation again, where you have like a legit contender. Ends up getting a couple players injured. And they end up tanking and getting the number one pick and getting Tim Duncan. Like, imagine that. Well, Chris Middleton's already out for like the first like month of the season. Yeah. But what do y'all think of Thompson's twin coming in the draft? We'll see. I think he has potential, but I don't know. Like it's one of those like is it just a name? You know what I mean? Is it just the name, or is like he gonna actually be? I mean, he looks nice, but it's one of those things. OKC would be fun. Shea, Giddey, Dort, and Twin Towers. Yes, agreed. They would be a lot of fun. I actually could see them trading SGA this offseason. I really could. Can you break down why everyone is going crazy over this kid, Victor Wembanyama? I don't keep with prospects too often. Yes. So basically.
As well, but go to YouTube and type in his name.
Yeah, go look him. Go look up his height.
Yeah,
because
no matter what we can say,
me telling you is not going to do.
It won't. It really won't.
Go watch his Las Vegas. Watch him against the Ignite, and tell me he's not arguably the greatest prospect you've ever seen in your life.
We're talking LeBron scary, D Rose scary. We're talking. Give me another one. We're talking freaking Zion scary. Like it's. Yeah.
He might be like arguably
everything too.
Arguably the greatest prospects in history are like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, I mean, then there's guys that were kind of hyped, but not like that turned out not very high. That turned out not to be. They were good, but not great. But like this guy is hands down the best prospect we have ever seen. So again, you got to go watch him, but to kind of give you a rundown. So he is essentially a 7'5" with shoes on. He's 7'3", but with shoes, he's 7'5". He is a 7'5" Kevin Durant mixed with who would be a good like comparison to that? Like Kevin Durant meets
almost like no, I can't really say Kyrie. It's just that he's quick. Like so, like
I'm trying to think of a guard that would be that would be understandable. Because like, here's the thing: he's long and lengthy like Kevin Durant, but he has like like Yao Ming height,
Yeah.
and he's like this. He just, but he's so much more skilled and so much more refined. Like Kevin Durant was hugely hyped coming in the league because he was like a 7-footer that could just score at an elite level.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama is that, but like on steroids. Like
Yeah.
he's taller, he's bigger, he's longer, he's lengthier, he's more quick, he's more agile, he's more refined, like dribbling the basketball. Like it's scary watching a 7'5" guy dribble the ball like a guard, go down, cross some dude up, hit the turnaround fadeaway on an off shoulder, knock down the jumper, get back down on the court, guard out on the perimeter, stick with his guy, help defense on a block out closeout, and then get back, grab the rebound, come down, and then throw a magic dime all in like a 30-second sequence. And you're just like, like LeBron called him an alien because he's like, we've never seen a prospect like this. He's right. This is like a make your own player on 2K. Like this is like when you take, that on 2K you make your own player and you just like set everything 100%.
Yeah.
That's Victor Wembanyama. Like that is like it's incredible. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm gonna go LeBron mixed with KD and mixed with like Dame. Like, just it's really, like I said, you got to really like just watch this kid, like a Dame or like a Kyrie or something like that. Just take like every position, put them into one, like Tyler just said, take all the sliders and just put it to 99.
turn them all up. Victor is a generational talent. It's a long time until we see someone as good as
I'm
it's
agree with that.
He might be a multi-generational talent. As crazy as that sounds, he is hands down arguably the greatest, if not the greatest prospect we have ever seen. Ever.
Before like Wilt, I mean, I don't
over
know.
Wilt, over Lou
Magic.
Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, over Michael Jordan, over like you give me a list and he's better. Like LeBron James, Zion. Like Zion was arguably the most hyped prospect since LeBron James. Victor Wembanyama shits on them both. Like LeBron might have been the greatest. Like LeBron might have been the greatest overall. Overall, like just prospect we ever had until Victor. like Bill Walton. Bill Walton was like an incredible prospect. Like at the time, he was arguably the best prospect we've ever seen. But people kind of forget about that because he wasn't this like superstar, and injuries and stuff like that kind of took that away. But like, like Victor is like Alcindor on steroids. Alcindor is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for those that don't know. Lou Alcindor. How good will the Magic do this season? I actually think the Magic will be pretty solid. I really do. I don't think that they'll be in the tank race. I wouldn't be shocked if they're in like the play-in. Maybe even squeeze into like a playoff spot. They got some really good young talent, and they're deep. They're another team that's going to have to start making decisions soon. We're all talking about Victor, but even if I got the second pick, I'd be good to get Scoot. Yeah. See, here's the thing. Like,
solid.
If Victor wasn't in this draft, people would probably be talking about Scoot the way that everyone's talking about Victor. But it's just like Scoot is one of the better prospects we've seen in the last several years. But it's just you have Victor. Like Victor is so transcendently good that like Scoot just becomes like a role guy at that point, which is kind of crazy to think. Because Scoot,
that's crazy, yeah.
Scoot might be a number one pick in like the last like 10 drafts. Like like you could like even over Zion and guys like that. Like Scoot is really good, really good. Like that.
You put him over Zion, really?
Have you seen Scoot play? That dude is incredible. I mean, he is so refined, so athletic, so calm. I mean, he's like as much as we talk about like Ant-Man, as much as we talk about him and his like just confidence and just like that Scoot, like he has like Kobe level confidence. He has like an incredible skill set, super athletic, can score from anywhere, can get to
Yeah.
the hoop, create his own shot, can create for. I mean, he's an incredible all around talent. Problem is, he's in the same draft with Victor Wembanyama. Like Zion might like if say Scoot and Zion were in the same draft, Zion might have gotten the number one pick over just pure hype. Just because, like I said, Zion is the most hype prospect, not counting Victor and them. Zion is the most hype prospect since LeBron James. So on that alone, he might have ended up getting drafted number one. But like skill set wise, like Scoot is a better all around player than Zion. Zion's just this big
He reminds me of D Rose just a little bit. D Rose,
he's
a little bit.
He's incredible. Wilt Chamberlain should also be the greatest prospect. Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't say that. I thought I mentioned that. Maybe I didn't.
No, I think you did.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was talking about. I'm in, and it's from the G League. I don't know. Like they were hyped going in, but I don't know. So look, this draft period is supposed to be super deep because of obviously Victor Scoot. You have what is his name, Mikey. I got his name. But you have there's like 7 or 8 guys that are considered like franchise guys. I don't know if the Thompson twins are just, if they're just hype or if they're really that good. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good, but are they like translate to NBA good is a real concern I have. We're gonna get to see more of them this upcoming season, so maybe. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with them. I think they could go either way. I definitely think that they're going to be quality guys in this league. I just don't know if they'll be like that, the level that teams think they will be. NBA is going to rig Victor to a big market team like Ewing to the Knicks, frozen envelope. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, but the problem is there aren't very many out there. My only worry about Vic is can he stay healthy? That's my biggest concern too. He hasn't proven it so far, but being that big, you're bound to have health issues. I've said the same thing. Like I have a big concern that he's going to be able to, because just that size, like on your knees, your ankles, your feet, all that stuff. It is definitely.
You think he needs to bulk up before he comes into the league? I think so, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it would help.
Like a Giannis type situation where like Giannis is very like skinny.
Yeah,
but
it would help. You just have to do that very carefully with guys that size. And also the thing that's crazy about Victor is that usually guys that are like look at Chet, as long as he is, he's like 7 feet or whatever, 6'11" or whatever. But usually they're kind of hunched over. Like even Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's kind of hunched over because of the height, because they're so tall. Yeah. They just kind of naturally have like this little hunch to them. Like you even see Kevin Durant, they kind of have like this, almost like a little humpback almost. Yeah. Victor doesn't have that. Victor's like as if he's like 6'2". Like it's crazy. Like I don't know. The dude's just he's on another level.
That's scary.
Let's say KD actually joined the Cavs and Bron back then. Would they beat the Warriors in the finals?
KD Absolutely. Joins the Cavs with LeBron back then. Yeah, that's not even a question.
Instead of going to the Warriors, if he joined the Cavs, they would have Warriors might have not won another championship ever.
Because one thing that Kevin Durant has proven over time is that he knows how to play with stars. You know what I mean? Like he knows how to co-play, co-captain. Like he played with Russ, and that Russ is a very hard player to play with, but he let Russ, be the primary decision maker. He played with Steph, deferred to Steph on some occasions, but he was still like the guy. He's played with Kyrie, so like he knows how to play. Him playing with like arguably the best player of this generation. Sorry, not arguably. I guess you'd say the best player of this generation. It's it would not even be fair. To be honest with you, that series probably goes 4-1, maybe.
Yeah, I think it'd be like an unfair mismatch. Scoot, I've seen struggle from 3 a bit, but he can definitely knock them down pretty consistently. Yeah, I mean, look, he's not like a lights out 3-point shooter, but he's good enough to where he can be. Like
I'm telling you, D Rose vibes. No, like
he's slashing. I mean, Derrick Rose couldn't shoot to save his life, though.
No. He couldn't. But I'm saying like that slashing, the whole like aggressive, like the ball tuck,
hyper athletic. Yeah. He's a bigger. Is James Harden washed? I don't know.
Nah,
I
nah.
don't think so, but I think there's a lot of concerns with him.
Give him
The
a
Thompson
year or
twins,
two.
yeah. The Thompson twins, I'm excited for. I think they're really good, and just seeing two twins get drafted again will be sick. Oh, that I love that idea. Look, like I said, I like the
The
Thompson
last
twins.
twins we
I
had.
just don't know. I don't know if it's so much hype or if they're going to translate well. Like sometimes I'll see them play and like they look like they might be the next like big thing, and then like other times I'll watch them play and it's just like I don't know, like they had that, what was it, that exhibition game or whatever, where they had like several guys and they don't really stand out to me. I don't know, that's just me. I have a feeling if the Lakers start struggling in the next 10 games in the beginning of the season, I think a trade is going to happen. I can see them absolutely sort of panicking. As soon as a Vic jersey gets put on sale, I'm buying one, even if I hate the team he goes to. I don't blame you at all. At all. Oh, Tyler, I watched Halloween Ends today on Peacock. I'll talk more on Fate Decided, but let's just say I got some issues. I feel it. Austin.
Everybody
Really
except for one person that I have talked to has issues with that movie.
Yeah, that movie's not the best. But anyway, we're going to skate on out of here. We thank you all so very much for hanging out with us and having these talks, having these discussions. You're all very awesome. Any last word? Any last word? Bubblies. Any last words that you'd like to say, Jake?
No, let's go get this W tomorrow. Get some Warriors. Let's do it.
Facts. Don't miss us on Wednesday. We'll break it down.
Absolutely.
Tonight, I'm going to get some videos up. And I maybe do a late night live stream. I'll see how much time I got. It's already kind of late, but if I can do that, otherwise I will do a post game live stream tomorrow over on As It Stands Lakers. Be sure to do that. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. You guys know the drill. We appreciate you. We'll see.